This video might be a little long, but it's an interesting one. If you watch this whole video to the end, let's start at the beginning of the story. The dragon is shown fighting a few people right now. That's just an adventure. It was here that the dragon attacked them, and they fled from there. We are shown the main character of this story, i.e. L. Our main character is actually a farmer, and he is doing his work. Enjoys a lot this time too. He was doing the same thing to his vegetable was breaking, because right now he has to go towards the city to sell them, but only then there comes his friend. His friend used to burn a little from him. But he was a good friend, was progressing at speed. Even his friend does fishing. He also has a high level of L. While L is a farmer, there are laborers in this world, and the guards here decide who has to give how many levels for the work. The level of L is 100 others. It is still the rest of the level. Didn't know about it. But you see the status of his level. He sees in it that his level has increased very fast, as well as his many different powers that he does not yet know. It was unlocked, and the score was said to be up to 7,000. L was shocked at the thing, but he still doesn't know the scoreboard the way he works. When he goes to the city, he will know about it now. He will get out of there now, on the way to the city. We see that the same forest falls where there was a huge dragon. They were running away in fear of him, and the dragon was attacking them. Huey looks at the dragon and thinks he doesn't know who it's after. Took out a karat and threw it towards him. He thought it was the dragon destructor, but as soon as it hits the karat, the dragon explodes there, and after that there was L's shock, but he decides that now he should go to the city so that he can get his vegetables, if he can sell, otherwise other people have done it. Then his goods will be sold very cheaply. When he arrives, he sees that some robbers are kidnapping a girl. L did not have time, but he still sees the girl. Saves the girl who was thanking L here that suddenly a bell would ring. This bell was actually the bell of that market suddenly. Hearing this, L immediately went to that side now that all of L's belongings are sold. He begins to return to his home. Just then the guards of that city stop her there, and that's when the girl comes there. She says that she is a princess, and she also says that she has to say thank you to L to help her. L says that it's okay, it's over. Then she asks L for his name. L says his name, and then she says it seems that Al can become his guard, even the royal guard whose salary is very high, but Al immediately refuses to do it. The girl was fond of listening to the talk. She says that after all, why are you refusing such a salary thing? But L says that no, I'm just interested in farming, so I'll do the same. Now that girl stops him and says let's go, if it's okay. If you were willing to become a royal guard, I would give you 33 square feet of space wherever you want. Hearing that you can do so much farming, L's shock was saying that why do you want to make me a royal guard? The girl says that you have defeated a man with a higher status than an average status. L was fond of hearing this thing. He asks what this status is after all. On this, the girl explains to him that what is actually normal people are their status, i.e., that score is more than 50 than the knight captain. Those who have 600 status are very powerful, and above that, legend statuses come that turn on statuses by the thousand. The princess now asks him what your status is after all. L couldn't tell her because we knew that L God had given the status of about 7,000 score, so he did not give his status to him. It was showing that now only the same group comes there, which is running away in fear of that dragon, and he comes here and tells the princess that we were running away in fear of the dragon. That S-rank dragon was driven away by someone with this slight C karat. The princess was a hobby, by the way. When they look at L was not there because L ran away from there immediately. The scene changes and we come here to the kingdom where the king was just sitting just then. A knight captain comes there and tells them that we saw a dragon in the middle of the forest, and at the same time the princess, some people tried to kidnap. In fact, the Lord has woken up again, and King was very fond of hearing that he had done all this to distract us, and he decides that a decision has to be taken as soon as possible, otherwise there can be a big problem. He had arrived, but then his friend arrives and tells L that some monsters are now moving towards his farm. Hearing this, he was very fond of it. He immediately runs towards that side. He sees that his fields are still left, but those monsters were heading straight to the city from there. There was no problem if the city was finished, but the main problem here was that when the city is finished, who will buy the vegetables that used to be sold there? Because now he had to do something. Now the scene changes again from here, and we see the king princess and some of her guards had just left with the knight captain. was taking him to the place where he had received the news that the Demon Lord might finish him. We were going to do it, but we see that now there is an end where the Knight Captain tells them all. King, hearing that we have reached destinies, now the bus journey ends here. They did not understand anything, but now the Knight Captain turns around and attacks them, due to which the king leaves from there. Fall down, and after this we see that some strange black thing was coming out of the body of the Knight Captain, and after this he reveals that he is actually the Demon Lord and kills the rest of the guard from there as well. He says that he did all this to become the next king. He will kill the king and princess here in his own form. Change, there will be the next king, and after that now, that very powerful attack there will be the king. On the other hand, King was injured, but he uses his multi-shud technique. The power of the dim lot was stopping the attack so much that even that shield is now one by one. But the princess also uses her power here, uses the creation and recreates those shields again. But now the Demon Lord creates a rope-type snake with his power, which is able to kill all those shields with great speed. Starts to finish, and after this he releases his power of darkness. After this attack, it seemed that the king and the princess will not be able to survive, but by this time L had come there. He hit the ground with his farming tool, after which the ground starts to explode there, but due to the speed of the Demon Lord, he is there. After escaping, he comes straight after L and attacks him with his sword. But L throws him away from there, restraining his sword with his hand. The Demon Lord himself was also very fond of seeing, but then he was using his power as many of his companions, as he could absorbs all their soul, after which it absorbs its power now very fast. She had started to grow, and now she had come to her true form, and after this the princess checks there that she finds out. The level of this Demon Lord is 78 now. The level system has not yet been explained to us, but her score is not shown to us. Princess had understood that this is their end and L can never beat her. But due to an attack by L, the Demi Lord has to flee from there, and the king was very shocked. Now we see the scene of the next day, was thanking him for saving his and his daughter's lives, and here he says to L he was wondering whether he would join Gil, but L immediately refuses to do so because he is very much his farming business. I was enjoying more. But then the princess says that I know how to celebrate it. She tells L that we promised you that we will give you 3,000 square feet of space so that you can do as much farming as you want. You can now say yes to L here because the offer was too big for him. But now when he's in that place, when he reaches there, he sees that the place is completely barren. There can be no farming at all, but now he had said yes, so it could not be denied. After some time he reaches there to register in that guild. She was also a princess. She says that don't tell anyone that I am a princess, and here she came with a little change of dress so that no one can know that she is a princess, and we also know that the maid who is in the kingdom right now made her a princess. L comes into the guild here. He realizes that first of all he has to write his name at Serra, but now he was very hungry, and the girl who was writing his name there offered him food. Now she's sitting at the table, telling him about herself. Why do you want to join the guild? L says I don't want to join, but force me to do so. By the way, now the one who was asking all these questions, at the same time 3 people come there. These are the members of the group, and in all 3 of them are that group, and they have got S rank by looking at the people. I was very much respecting L. I was fond of seeing this thing that in fact S rankers are given so much respect now when they are. If I tell you all the details, here he gets G rank, which was really very low. But L was not unhappy because he knew that if he defeated an S-rank dragon, he would get a direct hit from his G-ranked S. After this, he asks his task. L was given the first task very easily. He was given only 10 hubs. Had to collect, which is normally found everywhere, and he was told that he has to go to the armorer because there is less level monsters of can also be found, or he can armorer. But now here at L tells that he's not rich enough to get a job as an armorer. But after that the girl gives a protecting form of itself. L keeps it and says thank you this L. It felt so good now that L was out of there. The girl says her name Helen and says all the best. Now L had left from there. He comes to the forest, and after coming there, he was working hard, and by raw, he had completed 9. He'd found her, but he'd still have to find something else. It seemed strange to him. Then suddenly, there are some monster-type creatures in Orc, so they are here on L. It starts to catch on, but L was avoiding him when those S-rank members were there. They come and attack the Orc and defeat it. Hall sees that it's the same group that he met inside that guild, where L would show them some things. And asks if you know what this is on this thing. There he tells a member that I can't say this for sure, but it's probably something of a black dragon to me. It was then that suddenly the same black dragon that he had just named came there, and he was attacking them, and the 3 adventurers of S rank were scared, and he also started running away from there. Trying to check the status, L didn't understand correctly, but the status of that dragon was up to 1 lakh. Now these people had escaped from it. But let's see that now the dragon was chasing someone, and he also catches hold of him. Only then his dream sleep is opened. Actually, it was Helen's dream, and she was very scared. The people of the group come. L tells that he has seen a very dangerous dragon in the forest. Helen was already fond of hearing that. After this, now L also shows the batch that they got there. She sees that thing. She gets very scared, and the memories that she had. From the back, he could see his brother who was asking for help, and at the same time he was shouting, but the dragon doesn't leave her, he kills her. And after remembering this thing, Helen fell unconscious on the spot. The group leaves, but Elle stayed, and the lady who takes care of Helen tells Elle, Helen is not his daughter. In fact, Helen was just found lying like that. Then she was very young, she had nothing, and she did not have her old things. I just remembered that this was the rope with him that he gave you, and he was for this thing. The hobby was that Helen cared a lot about it. Now after this, Elle says that I will find out whether it is the black dragon after all, and what is Helen's relationship. But now the lady says that you are not so strong that you can fight with that dragon but with Elle. But Elle had made up his mind that now the lady would give him some of those bottles. There were recovery pills inside. Elle keeps them and says thank you to them, by the way. Now after this, Elle was leaving from there. But a boy comes. He gives a letter to the boy, which was from his mother. He did not read the letter, so we are not told what is written in it. And after that we see that the letter, at first he came to the library because he had to read about the black dragon, what it is after all. But he remembers that he could not read. Yet he had so much information that let him know that he is a dragon. It is very powerful to him. There were many other books in which he could get more information and go there. But the receptionist, she stops there and says that you cannot enter here. But then the princess came there and she says that I am here. But I want to go inside, and now she takes Elle there too. It turns out that in the book that was written about the history of the black dragon, that in fact 15 years ago that dragon did the same, had attacked the village in which Helen lived. He had understood that if they want any information, then for this they have to go to the same village, so without wasting time they will go there. As the princess was also going with her from there, she did not believe even if Elle refused. When they reached the village, they were fond of seeing that the condition of the village is bad. They were moving forward when a boy appeared in front of them. Looks like it was just looking at Elle, because it was actually Helen's brother's spirit. It was a hobby to see that the boy was looking a little blurry here and the princess could not see him. On who gave you this rope? Elle says that it was given to her by Helen, but Elle thinks that it is actually her. The boy is able to see because of this rope. He immediately gives that rope to the princess too. But then she sees that there is actually a boy standing in front of them. Now the boy says that his name is Ray and he is here. I have been waiting for a long time for someone to come here wearing this robe so that they can wear a little. He says that 15 years ago, he was training very hard like this every day. His age was very small, but he wanted to be a legend, because of which he used to train harder. But one day suddenly his village was attacked by the black dragon and everyone left from there. Frightened, they started running away, and seeing this thing, Rebbe was running away from there. But suddenly there was an old woman in the family who couldn't run away. Because of this, the dragon was about to eat them, but Ray came forward to save them. He tries, but the dragon devours them in front of him and eats them today. The village will be killed here. We see that all the people of the village could be killed here. Seeing that Ray worries about his sister, he tells her that we have to get out of here. And after this, both of them start running away from the village from there. But there is no reason for this. There was no use because the black dragon was following them, flying faster from there, and after that now they were following them. Ray stops in front of him and sees that his sister is now in danger. Because of this, he was now in front of him and the dragon while fighting, saying that, "Sister, you run away from here. I will stop it." After that, he also attacks the dragon. It hurt a little, but it healed on its own. The dragon was impressed by this. But he was enjoying troubling these people. That's why he was biting Ray. Krita and Ray were now so injured that they could not even survive. But now that he was not dead, he tells Helen, the sister of Black Dragon Ray, that I am leaving you alive, but I promise that after 15 years, I will attack your city again and destroy you. Tells the dragon that even if you kill me today, I won't let anything happen to my sister. Listening to the dragon leaves the soul of Ray. In fact, that black dragon belongs to anyone Saul could eat, because of which he would still be killed there, then he is nothing. But here she left her soul. Because of this, Ray is now from Ellen Princess. After that, we come back to the current time. Here Ray tells us that in fact, the dragon is like this every time. The only thing he does is to leave someone alive so that his stories do not spread among everyone. Says, I don't know how to defeat that dragon, but I just want my sister to know. As soon as he hears that he can run away from here, he picks up El Princess and immediately runs back to the kingdom. They got there very quickly. They got there and they found all of Helen. Helen was nowhere to be found. In the second scene, we see that it was going to be night. Helen was passing through the same forest at this time. She had been because she had been seeing the dragon and her brother over and over again. Aura spreads out and the black dragon comes in front of her. Helen was very fond of seeing her, and she was remembering that her brother's life was lost because of the same dragon. Now Helen had a knife with her. The dragon was very curious to see what Helen would do now. But Helen would say, if you want to kill me, but let my friend go. The people of this city have not done anything wrong to you. The dragon says that your villagers still did not harm me, but you all have to die. And after this now, that dragon was about to attack Helen. But in the meantime, we get there, we see that Helen was also about to kill herself. But Elle stopped her hand at first. But what was the dragon's attack? He throws Elle away from there and Elle goes and hits a tree. He says that, hey, wow, no human had survived this attack of mine so far. But Elle says, I'm not a human. I'm a farmer. And Elle goes straight to punch the dragon. Because that dragon had fallen from there and went straight and hit the tree, and this thing, the trees had been uprooted from there. But the dragon was now more angry about this. He was attacking them with all his power, but Elle was avoiding his every attack. Here we see Helen, who was very sad at this moment and was saying that I don't want anyone to die because of me like my brother. But now we see the dragon uses a fireball here, but Elle escapes from him and takes Helen. Helen was apologizing to him and saying that if you leave me here, you can save your life with this. But Elle says no. He also says that his brother had met Ray. Ray said that he is very happy even though he is not alive today, but he is for a good work and he is dying to save his sister. That's why there was a smile on his face. Helen was even more sad to hear. But whatever Elle was saying, Helen was in it and she was seeing her brother in it. She was also happy now. Then suddenly a light appears in the sky, after which he sees that his status is gradually decreasing. And he was fond of seeing why his power is decreasing. Just then, the black dragon was about to attack him, but he was very fast. The punch from which he threw the black dragon was very far from there. Elle says that now I feel a little strong, I'm doing it, and hope is the only thing that can keep us alive here. She was approaching him and suddenly Helen stabbed him in the stomach. Couldn't figure out why he did it. Then he takes out the bottle of recovery pulses. But from his hand, falls down, we see that Helen's eyes were just red. And we realize that, in fact, the spirit of that black dragon has controlled from Helen's body. She wasn't saying anything to herself, but then suddenly there was another silver dragon comes. We see that it is actually Mirage Dragon, which is powerful. But even after its attack, there was nothing they could do to the black dragon to defeat because the black dragon was very powerful and he knew that Elle would never attack a girl, so there was another advantage. But here Elle goes ahead and immediately attacks Helen, and because of this the black dragon falls down from there, as well as he was in the body of a girl. He was not able to use his full power, so now he decides that he will control L's body so that he will not be able to use his power and there is no one else there strong enough to defeat him, but now he is L's body. I was sending my spirit. Then he realizes that L's mind is completely empty. There was only one thing that the dragon, was very fond of seeing, that he was farming and sowing crops, because in fact he was only wanted to control, and by this he could attack the weakness of the people and could not make their spirit captive by attacking, but Elle didn't understand any weakness, so her spirit fades from back to back and Helen from there falls down. Elle moves forward to pick him up, but we see that still the black dragon's spirit went from there. No, he attacks Elle, and suddenly a light comes out of the sky, which was falling down there. Elle had also fainted. We see that the dark clouds in the sky, that is, the male cowl, had started to move, and it turns out that now the black dragon has woken up, after which we look at the city, where the princess was waiting for Elle. But now the scene comes a few days later. We find out that Elle was unconscious for so long, and now finally he gets up here. Both princess and Helen were standing there, and Elle get up and ask me how many days it was. She says, "You have been gone for a long time. How are you feeling now?" Elle says, "Yes, I'm fine." By the way, princess was a little too happy. Elle saw this like hell here, like hell here. Elle asks Helen that the dragon had captured your spirit. Now on how she is feeling. Helen says, "Yes, I am fine now, but since then a strange power has come inside." She puts her hands forward and says that she can now convert them into a dragon. Elder said that the black dragon is still inside you, but Helen said that there is no such thing. I am able to control my body well. I am just talking. This power has come in me. I would have killed many people with these hands, but now I am using this power to kill many people. I can use to save. By the way, Helen did not know that after all she is a princess. She asks who you are. I'm a childhood friend of Elle's, and it was only then that the group of people from which they were all more hobbies in the guild. But Elle defeated a black dragon, and now he was praising Elle. That's true. How powerful is ML? And here he was praising Helen. After which one of them says that such a great happiness. So we should have a party, and the party will be on behalf of the guild whose guild it is. Elko should get a very big party to defeat the black dragon. But no one was paying attention to him, because who didn't know she was a princess anyway? Now the scene comes on a few weeks later. We see is that Elle's life was going normal. Ella and his friends were all just getting some vegetables. Sonic is the boy who gave the letter to Elle on behalf of his mother. He had brought another letter and he says that it is from Elle's father. He opened it later and his father wrote that Elle had been farming for a long time and was living next door. So has he got a female friend yet or not? By the way, Elle's mother wrote that Elle should come back home. Now anyway, it's been a long time since he came back and Elle was also thinking about it. Now he will have to take permission from the guild people for that, whether he can go in between or not. We see that the next day, now he came towards the kingdom, where he sees a vegetable owner in the market. He was selling tomatoes. Elle goes and picks up a tomato and eats it. Elle likes it very much, and he asks after all this how to grow, because my farm's tomatoes aren't as good as some fertilizer, talking about it. But then Elle remembers the main job that he had to go to his village. He immediately runs to the guild, and he meets Alan, and he asks Helen if he can take a few days off. She can return to her village with this thing. Now she starts saying that for this she does not need to ask for leave. She can go wherever she wants, maybe. But the good thing is that he has given information here. She says, "I'll go with you. I knew you would. I'm about to leave, so I've already packed my things." But Elle immediately runs away from there so that the princess unable to chase him. Now we see that he was returning to the village through the forest. On the way he finds an orc, which at first he was telling him well, but then he attacked him. Don't know why Elle wasn't attacking him while Elle was so many times before. Now he has become strong. But then a girl comes there who saves Elle's life. Elle was saying thank you to him, and now orc had been killed, after which Elle and he were sitting and talking. She explains that she was going towards the same village where Elle was going. Now they both decide to continue the journey together. It's been a long night. They were just moving forward. Then suddenly Sonic comes there. Seeing him, the girl attacks him. Was going to do, but Elle says stop, it's just come to give the letter. Sonic really gives a letter over here. And the letter was from Elle's mother's side. Now Sonic was gone from there. The girl asks that maybe it is very important. That's when your mother sent so many letters at night. But Elle shows all the letters and says no, it's not at all. It's not important because I get thousands of such letters every week. In fact, his mother sends him a lot of letters. L doesn't even want to read all of this, and then L was asking if you don't send a letter to this. The girl says that no, her family is not worried about her, and after this, now he was showing her bag inside, which there was a lot. All the legend items were stored as if they had a tent that was the same size. I was very small, but after applying it became very big. And she then takes out the rest of the things, after which they cook, and they start eating there, and Elle was asking where you actually live. Yes, the girl says that I was not going to your village, but to the city where Deem attacked and destroying people. There was Alice's hobby, and she says, why are you going to such a dangerous place over there? What explains that her father did the same thing. He used to save people's lives, so she is also doing the same thing now. Impressed to hear, but he says that you should take care of yourself, not necessarily your father was strong and he is from Damon. You used to fight. That means you have to do the same thing. That girl was very fond of hearing this thing, and thank you from Elle. She was saying, because today for the first time someone has cared for her and asked her to stay safe. She had gone to sleep. She also asks Elle to come inside the tent there, but Elle says that no, I'm gonna sleep outside. But she says it's okay. If that's what you want to sleep, you can sleep, but watch the orcs, because I won't wake up again and come to save you. Now I'm afraid of Elle orc. He had gone inside the tent where he was telling the girl about his dream and what he wanted to become. Obvious thing is that he wanted to become a big level farmer, but now the girl had fallen asleep, was stomping his feet on top of an L hadn't it slept all night. In the morning we see that the situation was bad and now they had left from there to continue their journey. How Lagiel says that nothing happened to me. After this, now they were moving towards the city. We see that we had reached the city, and we also get to know that it is the city, just near the place where Elle's house is now. So he had started going towards his house, but the girl had left from there. Those who were walking in the normal city could have a good idea about the dimmer who was attacking here. But when she asks, they say that they do not know anything about this. Why is she not willing to tell him anything? But now while she was moving forward, she sees a little girl who is crying. She goes to him, and we see that a man was watching her from a distance. Then the scene changes and we see Elle. Let's see, Elle had just arrived looking for his house, and when he was moving there, he was very fast. Mother comes and hugs her. She was very happy to see Elle. Elle was fond of seeing them because she had reached there through the speed of light, and now Elle's daddy also came there. They go, but they think that maybe his wife is cheating on him, so they punch Elle. But then I see it's none other than his son, i.e. it was Elle. He apologizes to Elle. Elle's mother was angry, and dad is beaten very badly. Later at the dinner table we see that when he was not eating, Elle's dad was here. The burnt food gets to eat. Now while eating, he tells them about his new friend who is now with him. She came here towards the city. After that, when her food is cooked, he was telling the father that he has come to know about a particular fertilizer. His father says that yes, he can get it here, but I'll give it to you in the morning. Now you should go to sleep. But the only thing was that the girl who was Map had told all about a hotel, but his father says that there is no hotel there. So Elle should also stay here. Now Elle stays there all night, and in the morning he takes the fertilizer and leaves there to find the girl. While moving ahead, he saw a crowd on the way and there was a man asking for help and shouting. He immediately understands that a blue-haired girl has been attacked by a dime, and he is also inside the forest. That is the same girl, and after this, now he had run away from there to save her. By the way, we know that it is just this man's trick. And the crowd that was there, this man had created the illusion of his power. Inside the forest, we see a tentacle monster attacking a girl, but Elle arrives at the right time. Car saves her. The girl was thanking Elle, but suddenly she also turns into a tentacle monster and she starts to attack Elle. But by that time, Elle's friend had already come there and she saved Elle and was saying, there are many such monsters here from where they come. Now it is only there that the man who brought Elle here comes. He tells his name as Loki and says that he had spread the news of all these dims so that this girl came here and could fall into his trap because the man wanted to eliminate this girl. It was that you are useless, so you have no right to live in this world. Because that girl gets damaged there, Elle was healing her, but that girl was saying, I think you should get out of here. should run away because we can't beat it and I don't even have any power. But on this, L says, don't worry, I'm a farmer, I can beat it. And then Al goes ahead and attacks the guy. But here we see Loki's power was very high, and at the same time his speed also dosed his attack. While doing this, he throws him away, but after hitting the LB tree, he starts attacking him directly on the opposite side. Loki throws L to the ground with all his power, causing a huge explosion there, but we see now Loki says that even after this, L came out of that hole there safely. It was like, you can't beat me, and after I finish it, I'll finish Helen because of the black dragon's powers. There's nothing in front of me, and this time you won't be able to save her. Wally, it has the power of God, so it wants to eliminate it, and it is said that even after having so much power, this girl is useless. Only then she is not able to use this power. The girl's name is Yuri. We see that here Loki was now attacking Yuri's side, but L came forward and saved Yuri. But now Loki used a lot of his tentacle monsters at the same time. Yuri stops them and tells L that you should leave until I stop and waste their time. L also attacks those tentacle monsters and says that no, I will not leave you alone here. But after this, Loki also runs away. Starts to use all his power because of which Elb was tired, but still he was standing. But in the meantime, we see that Loki lifted Yuri with his power and moved away. Throws that tentacle monster out of the way. That's why L is still with Yuri. Now Yuri had fallen away from there and could not be saved. And after that, the tentacle monster L let us hold on to that, because of which now even L could not move. Still L was trying to move. But we see that now those tentacles were starting to absorb the power of L. Here Loki was saying that no matter how hard you try, you can't get rid of it. On the other hand, Yuri is still in your mind. She was thinking that she always gives up and she is useless, but then she remembers her parents. Was that no matter how weak Yuri was, he would never leave her after that. Yuri decided that from today, she would help everyone, but she still did not do it because she always gives up. Here we see that the tentacles were completely white and frozen. Loki didn't understand that the fertilizer he had was actually absorbing water. So the tentacle absorbs its power before the fertilizer absorbs the water inside the tentacle. He's dried up here because of this, but Loki says that no matter how much you do tricks, but you won't be able to defeat me. Now Belle starts attacking him. Yuri is very much seeing this thing. She was thinking that everyone calls me useless, not because I am not strong, but because of this, that I always give up, while L has absolutely no power or energy right now. But he still doesn't give up, supposing L was losing here. But we see that suddenly Yuri gets up and kills Loki with his sword. Loki is not dead yet, he had retreated, after which Yuri, using all the power of his god, attacked Loki, and it seemed to be directly to Loki that Loki was saying that even though, no matter how many times evil loses, but in the end it has to win, you will defeat me now. But again, somebody will come and stop you, and after that we see that the whole body of Loki is dissipated, and it's later. These people had won, but we see that L was now injured, and there was no energy in him. Because he fell down, but Yuri takes care of him. Now he was unconscious, but Yuri was saying that I really, for the first time, I feel like I like you. Then L's eyes open, and it's already night. By the way, they are in the forest. Now they had to get out of there and return back to the city. Someone's voice came, so it was recognized that it was her mother's voice, but he was worried about what he would do if his mother saw him with Yuri. Yuri also got scared as he thought that maybe it was the voice of a ghost. Now we see that those people come out of the forest there towards the city. Then after coming there, L first takes down Yuri. After that, Yuri was saying, I'm not sure if you beat a dragon and you're afraid of Gosen. But L was thinking that's really the dragon. The most dangerous thing was, after this, Yuri leaves Nick for the hotel and L returns to his home. But coming to think of how angry his mother would be when she saw him, she was actually a little angry. But L immediately, he had fled from there to his room. Now the next morning when he had to go back to the kingdom, his mother asks what really he hasn't given up on his dream. His dream is just to be a good farmer. L says, Don, give him this job. I enjoy it very much. He will never leave this work. So his mother also has to say yes, and in that house of father, there was no need to ask for their permission. So now Belle and Yuri had left from there. Let's see when they arrive at the kingdom. L first introduces Yuri to Helen. I was happy to see that they finally became friends. It's good that the fight did not start, but we see that there are fights. It's like now it's about the next day. When El was returning to his farm, he sees a small child trying to steal his vegetable. When Helen comes there, she stops him. But we see that the girl was really very hungry, so now El gives her cabbage to eat. After that the boy had left from there, then Alan tells El that in fact the nearby village, after the attack of Deem, the fields of the people there have been destroyed, so they have nothing to eat. I was a little sad to hear this. Now only they hear an alarm from the kingdom. In fact, the reason was that a very large time, the monster army is heading towards the kingdom there, and all the adventures they had are now from them, the three of them, El, Helens, and Yuri. Reach there and start fighting with them. The dragon was attacking in form and Yuri was attacking with his normal sword, but we see El, most of them, collecting the monsters and throwing them towards Helen and Yuri. He was able to eliminate all the monsters very comfortably, but we see that the monsters did not stop coming. While they were going, a knight came there, i.e., the knight, i.e., the soldier, who was very well dressed, and his face, it was not visible that he had a sword which is believed to be the holy sword. They were afraid and gave up and ran away from there. All the people were very fond of seeing this thing. Noticed that the princess had just arrived there and was telling LL that we wouldn't meet again. I did not understand anything but still did not ask many questions, and after that the princess goes there with her maid. The next day, Elle finds out that the princess is actually going to be married to another prince. After all, why did the princess not tell him this thing? He also thinks that who is she who will tell him such a big thing? By the way, Il learns from Helen and Yuri that the princess is actually getting married to the same prince as the day before. Holly had brought the sword and he had driven away those monsters. Perhaps that's why King getting married. But the sword seemed a little strange to Elle, and the thing that they later find out the same thing. In fact, there is no such thing as holy sut. It is just a normal sword, which is an iron. The one who created the work doesn't control any demi, monsters or anything. Now Yuri immediately says here that the way Loki trapped us by creating an illusion, somewhere it was also not doing the same thing, that it was just an illusion or that those monsters had no controlling and they were already told that they have to run away from there. Elle was fond of hearing this, and he says that this means that the princess's life is in danger, after which we see that she is talking to the king of all the other kingdoms at this time. They had all come here to ask for his help and to give him money so that he could do his holy sort, protect their kingdom with help, and no dem army should attack them. This would make the prince's plan completely successful. He was gradually making the whole kingdom his own, and no one in the kingdom would now refuse to listen to him. Then we see that a boy comes there and apologizes to the prince and says that now I and my people, I'm not going to send them to attack. Actually, this guy that's got those damn monsters in there. But it was also not his fault, because in fact the prince has kidnapped his wife and forced her to do so. The boy is saying that I have already lost many of my comrades, and now the dem army can't be sent there. Prince, he kicks her and says that no, you have to do this, or else we will end your wife. Let's see that here, only El, Yuri, and Helen were about to leave the same kingdom there, on the side of where he is the prince, and they had planned to somehow save the princess. We see that here right now Sonic comes and says that I will also go with you, and he also says that you have to go completely hidden, because they are going to be married. We will enter such a kingdom as if we have just brought food here for the wedding. The plan was very good, but El asks, why are you helping us? Now Sonic takes off his cap and reveals that he is also actually a dame, and now he explains the whole thing that his parents left him, after which Elle's mother take care of him. That's why he does his letter from here to there, and the other thing is that in fact, the Dem army is attacking those people. There is no fault of the Dems who order them. In fact, the boy fell in love with a human girl and they got married, but the prince deliberately kidnapped the girl. After doing that, he is blackmailing the girl that now he should attack everyone with his Dem army. They had to break it and tell everyone that this sword has come out. It is of no use, but now there will be some changes in the plan. Now the scene changes from here, and we see the princess who was just sitting sad as the princess was told by the king that she can take whatever decision she wants, but the princess, seeing the good of the kingdom, took this decision. She will marry the prince. Now she was unhappy and was not even talking to the prince. Then the scene changes and we see that now she, Elle, and the rest of the people had come to the kingdom. and Elle, Yuri, and Helen had changed their clothes. They had come and they were hiding. Then when they were moving forward, a soldier told them that he asks Elle, "Who are you, and what are you doing here?" To which Elle says that he is a farmer and he is his vegetable. Have come here to supply from kingdom to kingdom because there is going to be a wedding there. The wedding was today and vegetables were also going to be given today. So he was very fond of the soldier, says that you're lying, but Elle says no, I'm really a farmer. And then after that now he's got a very big soldier behind him. The army arrives. Elle, Yuri, and Helen were all three running away from there. And when they did not understand anything, they picked up Elle and went straight there in front of the tower where the wedding was taking place. We find out that the wedding is not taking place there, only that princess had a tower where at the top she kidnapped the same girl through, which he was getting the girl attacked by the Dem army. Elle sees her. Then all the other soldiers came there, but Elle he defeats them all alone, after which he asks the girl to run away. But a blood ball is tied to the girl's foot, because of which she could not walk. But Elle comes out of there by breaking that ball and picking it up. Destroyed, and now he was running away again. Now, after coming down, Helen and Yuri decide that now he is left. They will stop the soldiers so that they can get time to get Elle out of here, and then now they will turn back and fight those soldiers. Let's start here. The wedding of Prince and Princess was taking place inside that second tower, and now the wedding will be completed. It was about that time that Elle comes there, and he stops them. Elle says that Prince is a big liar. But Prince laughs and says, "You can prove it." Then Elle says, "That's exactly what we came up with by planning this. We see that all the monster dems were coming over their entire kingdom." Elle says that if you have the power, stop them and show them that Sonic had also come there. But now the prince was very afraid because he knew that the sword was of no use, but he was thinking that if the boy who is controlling those monsters was here, he could have stopped them. But now the boy also comes there and sees that the girl was also with him because of this and never talked about the princess. Manga prince's lie was caught. Because of this, he was attacking the king here. He tells all these things that he has sent many demon monsters to his kingdom. So now his kingdom is over. It's going to happen. But then Yuri and Helen come here. They say that they had already thought about this before. He had already told all the soldiers that the army could attack, so they were ready. Hearing that he has to stay, the boy becomes fond of it, and he now tells his soldier that catch them all. But the soldiers also knew that it was the prince's fault and he did wrong. But they were not listening to him, and instead they catch him and take him from there. Reveals that she likes Elle and was very fond of hearing this, and was shouting as well as King thanks Elle. Yu says that to save his and his daughter's lives once again, as well as this time, Elle saved the entire kingdom. By the way, after everything was clear, we see that now Yuri and Princess had a very fierce rivalry. I was alone in the farm. I was checking my vegetables there, then both Yuri and Princess come there. I ask who he likes after all. Elle says no, he doesn't like both of them. He likes another girl. Both Yuri and Princess were very fond of this thing, and then Elle ran away from there and went home. I was thinking about another girl. It's a very old story. In fact, many years ago when Elle was young. His father, he used to do farming work here, and the rest of the people around also used to do it here because so the Elle from the village was so happy in farming that all the vegetables they had there were all alone. Even Elle's father couldn't do as much work as Elle could with. He was also good at giving his vegetables to everyone else, and everyone says thank you to him. But one day Elle notices that some people were holding a little girl and taking some vegetables out of her clothes. Elle was shocked to see this thing fall. He asks his neighbor who it is and who it is, why are people going to catch it? Her neighbor says that in fact, this girl often comes here to steal because it does not have parents. So it earns a little money by selling these things and eats a lot by looking at these things. It was so sad that the girl came running from there and the bucket of Elle's. There was a lot of potatoes inside. She takes it and runs away from there, as Elle did not run to catch her. But after a while he reaches the same place, and here he had brought a little soup with him. Let's see that the little girl was eating the same raw potatoes at this time. Elle sees her and goes to her and starts giving her soup, but the girl was running away from there out of fear. Elle says that you don't need to run away, and then Elle puts the soup there. The next day Elle comes again, and this time he takes the apple pie. He puts it there and then starts to go again. We see that this time the girl was waiting for him. Sitting on top of the next day, Elle comes again, and today he had made a sandwich and brought it this time. That girl didn't run away because she was waiting there this time, and now she's with Elle, sitting there. She begins to eat the sandwich. Elle explains that he likes the work of farming because he grows it. People are happy to eat it. They want to see this happiness, and finally today he has that happiness. See? Now he asks the girl her name. He also tells his own name. That girl's name was Olivia, and now that girl is very. I was happy to meet Elle because he was getting to eat every day and he didn't have to steal. But then there were two more. People come to whose fields Olivia stole some vegetables from. They catch Olivia here. Olivia was apologizing to them, and now Elle is also apologizing, saying that I will work on your farm if you want. You let it go, but he wasn't going to leave Olivia just yet. At the same time, Elle's father comes there. He asks about the whole situation. They think that Elle has done something, but now when they tell this thing, here is Elle's father. He gives them a big bag with a lot of rice in it and says that these are very expensive rice. You can earn a lot of money by selling them and it will easily make up for all the losses you had. They notice that they actually stole very few of their vegetables and it was a lot for them. It was a profit deal, so they immediately agree to it and they go with the rice. But Olivia sees it all. She was very sad and immediately went inside the cave where she lived. And from there, the potatoes that he stole from Elle begin to return to him and say that I am sorry. But Elle says that you are not. It can be kept, by the way. Now Elle's father sees that it is not a solution that he everyday food should be given here and he should stay alone here in this cave. So he would say, if you want, you can help us in our fields and stay with us. Elle explains it to her too well. So Olivia becomes very happy and says that yes, from now on I will work with you. Now 2 years had passed. We see that Olivia was very happy with her while working together and now she started calling Elle her elder brother. Now time was passing like this. While we were working, just now a boy comes there. We get to know that this boy is Elle's friend, just like Elle's mother just wanted to see a big house because now this house was a little small for them and they had money. They were also saved, so now they could see a big house. She and her husband got out of there. Let's go now. Elle's friend was telling Elle that he's got a treasure pop and he wants to, is that they both go there and find that treasure from there because he thinks that this treasure map is really real now. Elle and he both got out of there. But they refused to let Olivia come there and Olivia agreed. Now let's get to this place. We see that it was a mountain and suddenly as soon as Elle's friend stood there in the wrong place, so suddenly he opens from the mountain beach and now they both start falling down from there. There is a place like a palace and at the same time many things are kept there. Just then they see a stone on which something was written, but they do not understand what is written on it. Now when they touch it a light comes out of it and they reach somewhere else. Even then he was conscious, but when his eyes open, he looks at his house. It wasn't a house, it was a tent. And Olivia was there, as well as Elle. The friend was also Elle finds out that due to some natural climate, i.e., disaster, the fields that were there have been destroyed, and their entire village has also been destroyed. Among the survivors were Elle's father and mother, so Elle was happy that all of them. The only problem now was that no one had anything left to eat. There, the mayor of that village had stored as much food as they could eat. There was work to be done. A little food was being given to everyone every day. But now Elle's health began to deteriorate. She was very upset and after this, she goes to the mayor's tent where she sees that some carrots were kept and she sees them. Was about to steal, but then she misses because Elle saved her while stealing. That's why she couldn't complete the thief here. She leaves from there again. The next day she sees that the food is already there. The obvious reason was that there is a shortage of food and no one is different. He couldn't help but throw his food into Elle's bowl. Elle asks if this is too much, to which she says that yes, we are getting help from the city and they have sent a lot of food so now no one has to go hungry. He becomes more happy and he eats that food for a few days now. But after doing this every day, Olivia became very hungry, but then she gave food to Elle. One day she suddenly falls unconscious and we see that Elle's friend comes to Elle and tells her. By the time Elle arrives, he sees that Olivia is no longer there. Elle is very sad to see this. He says that how could this happen? His health was also fine, but Elle's friend says that it is due to hunger. It is not possible that when so much food was coming from the capital, then how could this hunger remain? But on this the friend says no, we couldn't get an answer from the capital. Now Elle understood that Olivia did this to save her life. Because of this now he was more sad. Now we come back to the current time. We see that L is just looking at his vegetable. It was getting a lot better because now he used fertilizer, but he was very sad because for which he had decided that he has to grow more vegetables and feed now. It's not the same. Then he explains himself. Now we see the scene of the same night. A big dragon came here near the fields of all, but L defeats him very easily now when L was returning back to his home. On the way, he finds a girl who was unconscious. L picks her up and brings her home. In the morning, she comes to her senses and tells El, "That did you kidnap me?" Says, "No, you were lying unconscious." Then they say, "It seems even worse that you kidnapped me when I was unconscious." And El says that there is nothing like that. Now here the girl was saying that she should join the guild. "I want to make a little money so that he can earn a little money." El says, "Okay, I am also a guild member. I will take you there." The next morning, he was getting ready to go there when Yuri came to Elle's house, but as soon as she opens the door, she sees the girl in front of her, and that girl reaches there in the guild. After going there, now at first, while registering that girl, she tells the girl she was from a town where strange things were happening. Because of this, everyone was a hobby and no one understood what to do, but someone, he didn't even ask for help. Now the girl had left from there, so Il decides to help her and says that I will help you. And after that, both of them had left for that town. After all, strange things are happening to the people of that town. Then why didn't they ask for help? But he thinks that he should go there. It will be known that some others were following him on the way, due to which El fell unconscious. But then when he comes to his senses, he had reached that town. After reaching there, El sees that all the people, they're behaving very strangely when they stop at a food store. There they get burnt food. A person who is carrying his normal vegetables when his vegetables fall. The car goes straight without picking them up, and there are many such strange things that are naturally El does not get to see what it is after all. So the girl says that she does not even know that suddenly these people are like this. Then suddenly two girls who had covered their mouths come and kidnap El, but later El becomes free. We see that the girls had just brought El to his place where he parents used to make stones and sell them. This was their business. So here the girl was El, also gifted a stone because El has come over here to help him now back out of town. We're walking around and thinking we were trying to understand what is going on here and what is the reason for this. The girls come over there and this time they didn't kidnap Elko. The person came there. He is actually the leader of that town. In a way, the king, you can say. He comes over here and tells El, "I want to talk to you." The king is absolutely normal, so El does yes. But only then the two girls kidnaps El again. Then later El was saved again. Then now she's come to that palace of the king there with the girl. After coming there, El first the same question asks what happened to the people of the town. But King laughs and says that it makes no difference now, it doesn't matter what happened to them, and we see that now those who were all the rest of the king's guards, that is, the soldiers, were Elko did not understand and he asks the girl about this thing, but that girl also starts laughing, because it was actually his whole plan to trap El here. It was brought, and after this, now there is a dime who controlled all this, and because of this, the people of the town were behaving like this. El asks the girl, "Why did you do this thing?" She says that she also did not want to do this, but she was in control of it, and at the same time it also kidnapped her parents. The reason why he had to take her at their word, El says, "Let's not matter, let's see," that El immediately fought and defeated all the soldiers around, but that dime says, "You can't beat me," but El was obsessed with one thing. Why did they bring El here after all? That is, why did they work so hard on this thing? He tells Deem that he can control only one person at a time, and there were many people in this town. Because of this, the big statue outside took control of it and left the rest of it. He controlled the people, so now he controls the whole town. But in the meantime, he heard about El. Way to eliminate the Black Dragon as well as Loki, because he knew that El really powerful, and if he controls El then it will be very easy to defeat the rest of the people. No need to control him. But now when he was about to attack El, the girl catches him and says that you run away from here. Now he wasn't worried about his parents, he was more worried about El's because he really made a little mistake. So what's done is El doesn't run away from there. El activates his power and fights that demon. Does and very soon defeats him, and as soon as he defeats him, then here his victory was over, as well as the statue outside which was controlling the rest of the people. All that was also broken. Due to the breaking of those statues, which had become normal, we get to know that what actually happened. Two girls were repeatedly kidnapping Elle. They were none other than Yuri and Helen. Now Elle had to get back to her place. So here's the girl who was Elle for thanks to the gift. Both Helen and Yuri were very jealous after seeing this thing. And then El left the place. He had come back to his town, but he had kept the locket that a girl had gifted him. He was engaged in his farming, and all the other girls, i.e. Princess and Yuri Helen, were helping him. Is that El's crop was slowly deteriorating, actually some insect that was his crop. El is very angry with this thing. Now the rest of the vegetables were fine. El was the market to sell them. It was taken. Just then King comes there, and he is talking about El and Prince here of their marriage, and at the same time, they were farming the El. That they were more will give space for farming as well as very expensive tools, which El afford. Now El was very happy about this thing, but Yuri starts to stop him. Then the princess gets angry there. That's why she's stopping El. So she throws a potato at Yuri. But it hits Elle, and Elle is unconscious there. Now we see that Elle was just listening to some voice. It was actually the voice of God. They were telling Elle that we would soon Mylange. Elle makes a noise to stop him, but by this time Elle had come to his senses, and he was now in front of the king. He gives some vegetables to the king, and then the king leaves from there, but Elle was seeing that his vegetables were also bad. Were coming out, and it was happening because of those insects, because of which he was very angry. Now it was coming, but now it's only when Sonic gets there that Elle feels a little relaxed. He had brought a letter for her. By the way, now Elle was returning. Then he sees on the way that some goons are just a little girl. Annoyed, Elle stops them, but the goons start attacking him. Elo asks the little girl who was defeated, and one of them ran away in fear. Why were they bothering you? We see that as soon as that little girl's top type thing is removed, then we see her face. It means she is married to a demon family. Then Sonic comes there. The girl was afraid. Sonic explains that he too actually belongs to a dem family. Now he asks the girl who she is. She tells him that she is the daughter of the Dem King. The Dem King is the same as we saw at the beginning of the saying. It was that king was fooled, but Elle saved it. So here she tells that she was in her kingdom, but her creator sent her here because she posed a great danger to the kingdom. Hearing that, Elle decides that he will help him. Sunny begins to say that Brother W is on the other side of the sea, and there, it's gonna cost you a big chip and a lot of money to reach, but Elle says no, he doesn't. He need it. At first he tells him that you take care of my farm. I will try to return very soon. And after that now he picks up the little girl and immediately starts walking towards her kingdom. On the way, we see Elle's walking over the sea right now. It was just because of his speed, because he was running very fast now. After a very long time, those people reached there, and that girl was very fond that Elle was running so fast. At the same time, her condition had also deteriorated, but Elle says that I am sorry. But she was happy that Elle would take her here very soon. Came and now he could save her kingdom, as well as she was calling him brother here. Which because of this, Elle misses Olivia and becomes a little sad. Now the girl's caretaker had come here. He was fond of seeing Elle here and started attacking Elle, but the girl started attacking him. She says that no, Elle has come here to help her, but the caretaker does not listen to her and attacks Elle. Was that it's probably in someone's control. Elle was avoiding his attack, and now Elle on his attacks and throws him down. But we see that now he started attacking that girl too. Seeing this, Elle was convinced that the truth in that he is under someone's control. Elle was stopping his attack with his power. But now he, the caretaker, was about to attack Elle with all his power. Just then Elle's mother comes there and punches him down. She explains that Sonic revealed to her that Elle was coming here to the kingdom, which is why she came here. Well, after this, now the little girl was saying that you are very strong, so you can help us a lot in this fight. Now Elle's mother was also starting to move forward. We see that Elle was feeling a little strange, but we see that the king was lying unconscious and the rest of the soldiers were in bad condition. A soldier tells the girl that the princess, you run away from here. There's a lot of danger here, and that's when we suddenly see Elle's mother. She starts to kill the same child, but Elle comes out and stops them and says that you hearing that my mother could not be. I already understood that her mother says that yes, you have become very wise. After this, she showed her true form. We see that she was none other than Olivia. He was very fond of seeing this thing. He could not believe his own eyes because he saw his dead body himself. I saw it with my own eyes, but now this part ends here. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. There are more such amazing stories in the next video.